just 2 degrees. So I slept in this hotel, it was minus, right? So it was cold. So when you guys woke up, who came from Soweto? Soweto? Midrand? Tembisa? East Rand? North Rand? Westgate? No, I'm true, right? So some of you actually did make an effort to be here, so we appreciate that. And I'll tell you why you are different and special. So the first part of my talk is talking to young people, right? You live in the age, what I call the age of the double edge. The double-edged sword, I looked at States SA, right? And I looked at the population pyramid. So South Africa's population pyramid looked like a house. So I'm not the best artist, right? And what shocked me was this line here, right? 29 years and below, right, is 55+% of our population, right? So in 10 years, so if this was 10 years, right, this is gonna move up, right? So already here we're seeing an unemployment of what? Right? So this is already what? 40+% of young people that are unemployed, right? Yes? Okay. So that's the challenge, that's the context you are. If you are below the age of 30, how many of you are 29 and below? Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm going to talk to you first half of my session, and second half, if it's boring, ignore it. Okay? So you guys live in what I call the double-edged sword, right? You live in an age where the economy is growing at what? 0%. Massmart reported their annual, the first half of the year. They grow at 0.3%, right? So Massmart is in the top 50 companies on the JSE, right? It grows 0.3, because that's the economy, right? That's the economy. So you watch these big companies, they are not growing, right? So if they are not growing, what's going to happen to you, right? So you guys who woke up at 2 degrees and be here, right? To learn, to connect, you probably are the 1% that's going to make it. So we're going to talk to you and share with you what makes you different and special, okay? So you live in a double-edged sword. I remember when I was looking for a job, I had to write a CV with a typewriter. You know typewriter? And use Tipex, right? Do you know how many of you use Tipex? So I'm talking to the youngsters. They don't even know what Tipex looks like, right? Okay, so we use Tipex when you write a CV and it's wrong, right? But you guys have this, right? You have this. So of all of the youngsters, how many of you have a Facebook page? Don't be shy. All of you, right? Yes. How many of you have a LinkedIn page? And it's up to date? Yes. And if I went to it, I'll find everything about you. Yes. Employable? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. Okay. So when I walk out of here, give me your names. Or how many of you brought their CV here? How many is a physical CV right now here? How many? 1, 2, 3, 4. So before I leave here, just give them to me. Right? So I'm not going to give you a job, but what I'm going to give you, no, hang on. Let me know. I probably will, right? But let me make the important point. The point that you came here ready. Right? Yes. Ready, fire, aim. Right? So I'm going to try and connect you with people who can give you opportunities in the industries you are interested in. So I belong to an organization called YPO. Yeah, YPO is an organization of CEOs that run businesses that do 150 million plus, right? So those guys should have opportunities. So the 5 people I saw, you are ready, aim, let's go, right? You didn't come here to play. You didn't wake up at what? At 6 o'clock in the morning, right? Yes. So this is the attitude you young people need to have, right? You see that thing, I know it doesn't look interesting, right? But I am worried about young people in our country. We're not growing this economy, we need to create jobs. We need to create opportunities, right? So those opportunities need people who are ready for them. So you tell a lot of people, I was running and lucky. unenhlanhla unesinyanya sakubo bamenzeni bamlungisele no no akunasinyanya sinyanya uwena. So those who understand this Zulu, they probably know what I mean. So that means what? You guys need to be prepared, right? Because for every job that's there, how many of you are there? Right? So many of you have gone to school. I get CVs, and I call them, 90% of the CVs are actually put in the bin, because it's statistics. See? My name is so-and-so, my date of birth, I've got code 8, I stay wherever. Then you have a whole list of symbols, right? And all of them are B's and C's, and they're all good. Right? Yesterday, I actually had an exco and I fired an accountant whose CV 3 months ago looked so brilliant. I said to my guys, it's just too good to be true. What turned out to be, he had the academic qualification, but the challenges and problems we've assigned him to, he cannot deal with. Okay? So what am I saying to young people? Those below the age of 20, you probably are studying or you have studied, or no, standard 8 or 9 or 10 or 11. Quickly as possible, go ahead and find a job to give you life experience. Yes? Yes. Because if your CV comes to my table and all it has symbols and statistics about you, there are too many of those CVs around. So you ask the CEO that will speak to you today, there are too many of those around. Okay? So, some of you are probably wondering, who am I? And they see my surname and say, what is he going to tell us? So my story is I came to Joburg in I came to Joburg in 1993, 94, after finishing my study at UCT. And I came with a suitcase, nothing else. Right? And this guy just inspired. Lindsay, you're awesome. You got a life story of not. He is a life story of not. And if this country had just 1% of Lindsay's, we are already going somewhere. So Lindsay, please keep spreading the news. I know sometimes you go to a talk and you only talk to 10 people. You know what? Plant the seed, brother. Plant the seed. Because we need people like you. So I'm a little bit of story of Lindsay in different ways. But it's not about me. So I came here with a suitcase. I went to UCT, and then I was supposed to study for 3 years. I said, I went to the gym. I said, no, this is too long. I don't have enough money for this. Right? So I did my studies in, I think, a year and a bit, as long as I could finish, right? And I can tell you I've done MBA plus, but I've never graduated. You know, the certificate, I've never seen it. Because it didn't matter. Right? My point is, it's not people, when they employ you, they're not looking for your CV and what you have on paper. Right? So when you show up, you need to show up in full. Right? So when I show up in full, I'm saying, I walked in here about half an hour before I was supposed to speak. Why? Because I wanted to check the scene. Right? But many of you are having coffee. How many of you connected with more than 5 people you've never talked to? How many? Right? And how many of you looked at the poster? Because I rocked up at the reception and they asked me to register, and I registered, right? So you need to look. How many of you have searched the people on that poster and checked out what they do? So how many of you came to talk to me? You are hungry, you got your CV, you are ready, and you want to talk to me to see if I can assist you open a door.
I've got my company profile.
You got your company profile, okay? So we can talk. So all I'm saying, guys, is that when you hustle, when you plan, you need to what? To have your end in mind. So when you rock up to a place like this, you'll be surprised. So I walked around here. The only person who greeted me was the organizer. Right? I was not looking to be greeted, right? But I was invited to talk to you, right? So if I was going to a place like this and the speaker was, put you out, go check it out. Who she is? What does she do? Right? How can I connect to them? Right? So I said, guys, many of us are hungry maybe inside, but I'm not hungry outside. Yes? So please, make a plan. Right? When you come to a place like this, the opportunities for you to connect are immense, but sometimes they pass you by. Right? And secondly, I don't know why I'm going to criticize him a little bit. He was late. Yes. So if you go to China and you have 1 billion people to compete with, we cannot be late, Buffett. We cannot afford to start an event like this late. Because the people you have invited, all of them have what? Have a goal and a plan in life. Okay? All right. So I hope that gives you a context to the youngsters, right? That you have a double-edged sword. The positive side is that you have these tools that you can go, like now, if you go check Google my name, you probably can send me your CV. So it's not me, not many other people. Don't be shy. Akusizwa shy, hey my life is tough. No, get out of your skin. Because if you don't get out of skin, things ain't gonna happen for you. Okay? So I'm gonna illustrate that with a point of this building, right? In 2009, so we're doing city development. So I done about 1,000 apartments. And we wanted to, I've always said, we started in Yorville and we were going to go up to here. And we were looking for a development. So my guys called me, I was driving on that street, the other street. I said, no, there's a building about to go on auction. But the agent says we could talk to the guys who own it. So I said, which street? So I was about to price Harrison. So it's Harrison, so I look up, I see this building. I drove in here, I took the lift, I went up to the rooftop. So for you who have a chance around lunchtime, just go to the rooftop of this building and see the view of Johannesburg. So I told these guys, tell the agent, let's meet tomorrow at 9 o'clock. So I know, I had only what? I failed the building, I knew probably what I would do with it, right? But I knew this project was probably going to cost 50 million plus. Okay? Because I wanted to do apartments. Right? So like Lindsay, what happened? Probably didn't have the 50 million. Right? Like Lindsay, I said, this will make a plan. Right? So I put up an irrefutable offer. They said, no, it's going to Oshiki, you have to put a deposit. We put $1 million non-refundable, 1 million rand non-refundable deposit, so that they could take it off the auction. Right? We just sold one building, so I took that money and I hoarded it there. But that's the only million that we had. And then we started hustling now, looking for the money to do the development. But as we did the research, we found that there was a need for hoteling. There was not enough hotels in the inner city. Over 1 million people go in and out of the city, right? Tourism was growing, right? And 2010 was in the horizon. So guess what? I said 2010 is my target. So I went to IDC, I said 2010 is coming, right? We got an opportunity, right? And through that, I raised the money for the hotel. Then we said, no, we're going to about 18 months to do the development. Then on the 10th of January, we got a booking. So I partnered with the hotelier. So he got us a booking for what? Full in the hotel on the 1st of June for the World Cup. We only had a plan, right? So IDC had not given us the money to start the project. I said, bring the booking. So I went to IDC and said, guys, we've got a book. Because I worked out that we were going to make 5 million, right? And our equity for the project was just about 9 million, right? We had 1 million, and we had to make a plan, right? Guess what? What did I see? The opportunity was what? The 5 million to make up my equity, right? But I had to convince the funder to say, we need what? To build the hotel. So they deliberated on the 15th of February, say, okay, we're going to give you the money. But you got about 16 weeks to build it. So for 16 weeks, me and my team, half of which were completely unemployed, right? We got into this building, gutted it to the core, right? And we rebuilt it right to the way you are sitting today, in 16 weeks. So I'm not telling you to impress you, right? I'm telling you to impress upon you that what Lindsay is saying is doable, right? And you can repeat it, right? So she spoke about the Intermodal terminal, right? That's another reef hotel in the making, right? But in the numbers get bigger, but the principle remains the same. So if your foundation is not right, you ain't gonna make it. But if your foundation on how you approach things is right, the quantum and the numbers get bigger and more interesting. Okay? So the second part of my talk was probably to everyone, because they asked me, the topic I was given was what? Say it. Somebody who can read English? Lindsay, you want to read for me? Okay. So I spent probably 50% of my working life in corporate. So that's the other thing I'm going to tell young people, right? How many of you young people remember the 5th team on the English Premier League? Give me the name. Number 5. English Premier League? Number 5. No? Do you remember it? Probably don't. Or our own Premier League, number 5, on our last log. Who? Number 5? Who was on number 5 on the log? No, our, because the other league you don't know. I know you don't. Ours, I'm even saying, on the other league, is number 5. So Lindsay knows, right? What about our league? Okay. So my simple point, guys, is that no one remembers the middle guy or the middle guy. No one remembers them, right? So when you start a career, right? So I'm talking people who are also looking to. How many of you want to be to work for themselves? How many want a career in corporate? Right? Corporate. It's okay, yeah. All right. So I'll say there is 70, 80. Right? So I'll try and customize what I'm saying. No one remembers the guys in the middle, right? So when you start a career, try and find a company that people remember, right? Go and get the worst job in the best company. Don't get the best job in the worst company, because it ain't gonna get anywhere. Because if you get the fundamentals right in the best company, and you are so good, the rise in the ladder is very easy. So I started my career with I had 2 opportunities: either work for Procter & Gamble, which was coming into the country in 1994, or to go to Unilever, go to Devon. So I wanted to come to Joburg because 40% of the economy was here. And secondly, Procter & Gamble was as big as an American multinational compared to Unilever, which is Netherlands-based, it's a European multinational, but we know Unilever. So Procter & Gamble, Pampers, Old Spice, all those brands. Right? So I saw an opportunity to join what? A big company starting up, because I thought there I was going to learn more. But my point is, everywhere I go, I talk to people, even today, right? So tell us your stories. No, I started at Procter & Gamble, then I spent 8 years at Coca-Cola. Different story. So what am I telling you? Right? Find the carcass job, the worst job in the best company. Then you are already what? Set from a brand name. Why am I saying that? Right? No one remembers number 5 on the log. Right? So we know I'm what? Chiefs, I'm a course, right? In the second team,